Up next on Did You Know? WSSC frequently asked questions and what police are doing to combat heroin in Montgomery County. WSSC is one of the largest water and wastewater utilities in the nation. It oversees a network of nearly 5,600 miles of freshwater pipeline and more than 5,400 miles of sewer pipeline. Headquartered in Laurel, Maryland, WSSC serves 1.8 million residents in Prince George's and Montgomery counties. Here's General Manager Carla Reed to answer WSSC's most frequently asked questions.
My name is Carla Reed, and I'm the General Manager, CEO for the Washington Suburban Sanitary Commission. I am really excited to be back at WSSC. I previously worked at WSSC for 20 years, and I ended that part of my career as Deputy General Manager, but now I'm back as the General Manager, CEO. And I'm so excited to be here serving customers. That's my number one priority, is to serve customers and make sure that their needs are met, and actually that we exceed their expectations. So I want our customers to see a lot of great changes within our organization and really see us excel from great to excellent. We know our customers have a lot of questions about WSSC, and I'm here to answer them. WSSC is the largest water utility in the state of Maryland, and we've been around for about 98 years, and we're proud to say that we've never had a single drinking water quality violation. There are a few areas that have their own water supply. For example, in Montgomery County, the city of Rockville has its own water supply. If you're not sure where your water comes from, here's a hint. If you see a gray fire hydrant and a green top near your home, chances are you're a WSSC customer. Those gray and green hydrants are WSSC's, and we maintain 42,000 hydrants in 2 counties. Please call WSSC. The sooner we hear from our customers, the better. And the number that you can call, and we're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, is 301-206-4002. No two breaks are alike, and that's for sure. But a typical water main break takes 4 to 6 hours to fix from the time we start to dig. You might see a crew at a site and wonder, why aren't they working? They're not working because we always have to call Miss Utility first before we dig, so they can mark all of the underground utilities. And once that happens, we'll dig and make repairs as quickly as possible. Well, we have a couple of programs to help customers. The Water Fund, which is administered by the Salvation Army, helps customers experiencing financial hardship to pay their WSSC bill. We also have the Customer Assistance Program, we call it CAP, and it's a relatively new program that provides a partial credit to qualified low-income residential customers for the Ready to Serve charge. Another program, which is our newest program for our customers, is called Home Serve. People don't always realize the pipes on their property are their responsibility, not WSSC's. So Home Serve will also provide money toward a program for people who can't afford their repairs. The biggest culprit are toilet leaks. And the reason why they're tricky is because most of the time they're silent. And so you won't hear anything, but they're really easy to detect. So we'd be happy to send customers dye tablets so that they could detect whether or not they have a leak, or you can use food coloring. All you have to do is remove the toilet tank top and then add a few drops, or add our dye tablets into the top of the tank. and wait for about 15 minutes. And after you do that, come back and see if there's any color in the toilet bowl. And if you do have color in your toilet bowl, then unfortunately you have a leak. The toilet is not a trash can. The only thing that you should flush are the 3 P's. Pee, poop, and paper. Toilet paper, that is. Please don't put those nice handy wipes in the toilet. They say they're flushable, but they can clog up a toilet and cause a sewer backup. And while we're on the subject, when you're cooking in your kitchen, please don't pour grease down your sink. It can dry up and clog up your pipes and then cause a sewer backup. And that's the last thing we want you to experience. So for grease, can it, cool it, and then throw it in the trash. One of our goals is to connect at the grassroots level. And so we're out in the community at fairs, educational events, community meetings. So we average about 200 events a year in both Prince George's and Montgomery counties. And a third of those are like county fairs or town fairs. Another third, we're in the classroom doing STEM projects, science, technology, engineering, and math, and environmental activities. And then the rest are really with homeowners associations.
If you would like more information about WSSC, go to WSSCwater.com. You'll find customer quick links, water quality information, events, education, and more. Heroin overdose rates are rising in Montgomery County. The Montgomery County Police Department is fighting this growing epidemic using neighborhood watches and public outreach. Susan Kennedy reports.
I'm the white car here. Pull it out, pull it right here so it'll be easier to load up. Get you all set up here. Alrighty. Our unit goes out proactively and tries to root out the crime in the different areas. A bulk of our time is spent on the drug problem because right now, especially with all the overdose deaths, that is the #1 threat to public safety. An explosion is probably an appropriate word of overdoses. I mean, on call used to be, maybe I'll get called. Maybe I won't. I mean, now if you're on call, you're getting called. For the week you're on call, you're getting called multiple times a week with overdoses. And we've had to really shift gears from an investigative standpoint. When we deal with individuals that have overdosed, we try to make sure that they're first okay, and then we try to work with them to get them into a drug treatment program. At the same time, try to identify who their source of drug supply is. Heroin is the #1, target, if you will. And it has to be. It's the one that's killing people. It's the one that's damaging communities, damaging families. People who are using heroin are also committing other crimes to fuel their addiction. So there's thefts, there's burglaries, there's all these other problems that stem from heroin abuse.
Lieutenant Ron Smith works in the police department's Special Investigation Division. He says if a parent is in the least bit suspicious that their child might be using heroin, here's what they might be seeing at home.
Small digital scales like that where people are weighing out narcotics. Small glassine bags like this that narcotics can be transported in and sold in. Syringes used to inject heroin into the body. A spoon heated up with this lighter. That way they can liquefy the substance. Then they'll withdraw it using that syringe and then inject it. You might find something as innocuous as a box of X-Lax. The use of heroin will cause people to become constipated. A dollar bill, sometimes they'll transport the narcotics in this, hide the narcotics in the middle, and you can see the powder residue in there.
Yep.
Aluminum foil, folded into small sheets with burn marks on the bottom. Again, they use the lighter to light this up, put the powder in there, and then as it gases up, they can huff it. Small baggies, they cut the corners off of Ziploc bags, tie them in a knot like that. We're starting to see heroin in the county in small gel caps, small straws cut off to, again, snort the powder. The can with the hidden compartment where all this stuff can be stuffed inside of it, it's put up on a shelf and you would never know.
If you look at the non-fatal overdoses, we're in the, 70 to 90 range. That's 70 or 90 people that could be dead this year if it wasn't for Narcan. I'm not saying that every one of them was saved by Narcan, but I can tell you that a high percentage of non-fatal overdoses are non-fatal because of Narcan. So if we didn't have Narcan, we'd be talking, year to date over 100 dead bodies. And we're not at that because of Narcan. So it's important that we get the community and we work with the community to identify these little problem neighborhoods where we can then focus investigations and resources. So what we'll do first is I'll take you over to the hotel. Usually it's a lot of what we call guest dealers, and they'll rent a room for a day or two, and they'll sell their drugs out of the room, and then they'll leave and go back. We have to identify areas like this, like the hotel systems off the interstate highway where, individuals are coming to sell drugs and to commit crimes, while also at the same time working with the community to identify neighborhoods that are having drug problems. This was a neighborhood that was suffering from open air. And what I mean by open air is we had individuals that were standing on the corner selling heroin in open view. Come down into here, this is a one-way in, one-way out neighborhood. So we have this traffic circle here. So we had individuals that were standing on the corner selling heroin, and they would go back into that wood line over there and then ingest the heroin using a syringe intravenously in that wood line. So we got a complaint from the citizens that live here that there's multiple people hanging out. We were able to, through an investigation, identify who the main person was selling heroin in this neighborhood, and then furthermore build a case with our state's attorney's office that resulted in successful prosecution. Drugs fuel a number of other crimes, and they all damage the community in a very serious way. At Damascus Gardens, prior to 2011, 2012, the citizens that lived in that apartment community were plagued with open-air drug sales, drug dealers that were coming in from out of the area to sell drugs, drug users that were going into the complex to buy drugs from the drug dealers. And what we did was, the first phase was to eradicate, to the best of our ability, the individuals that were selling drugs and to identify the people that were using and abusing them. That took about 9 months. We were able to arrest a number of individuals. And then what we did was, with the users, we tried to get the users treatment, and then let's make sure that the people that live there are getting the resources that they need to improve their quality of life and apprehend the most serious offenders, which were all successfully prosecuted, many of them sent to State Department of Corrections. Complete 180 degrees compared to what it used to be years ago. But this community would not be as clean as it is right now if we didn't have the support of the community itself and also the apartment complex. Property management company was very good about screening, and the community became very good about reporting suspicious activity and making sure that we were able to stay on top of anything. If we can educate people not to use the substance, if we can arrest the drug dealers and the importers, so we try to reduce and remove the amount of heroin on the street, and then if we interact with our users and try to get them treatment and get them off the substance, all three of those things together is all equally important and all equally what's going to give us, a path towards success.
The previous segment was extracted from a 30-minute documentary called Heroin, the Quiet Epidemic, available on the Montgomery County Council YouTube page.